Hello everybody, I'm John Hindorf, and let's look back now at the 2016 season for the 24-hour International Endurance Series and the 24-hour Touring Car Endurance Series, both powered by Hankook. There's desert on three sides of one of the most appealing and fastest growing cities in the world. This is Dubai, boasting man-made islands and the world's tallest buildings, and also home to Dubai Autodrome.
First race of the year was the Hankook 24-hour race of Dubai. Actually, the race where we started over 10 years ago, in 2006, we had the first race there, so we were there. It's our flagship. We were there with a milestone of 100 cars. A little bit busy, but a big race.
Back in 2006, the maiden race of the 24-hour International Endurance Series was flagged off on a nearly brand new circuit. And we're back in 2016 for the 11th year running.
Creventic have grown like we have grown. We've kind of almost grown together. And all I can say is it's been a pleasure to work with Creventic. They're small, they're effective, and I think that's how motorsport organisations must be.
Race start is 4 o'clock on Friday, continuing through till the same time on the Saturday afternoon. A capacity grid with 100 cars entered, teams and drivers from all over the world. The grid visited by family, friends, spectators, as well as the worldwide motorsport press. 2 warm-up laps behind the safety car. The first meant to warm up the tyres, the second to get into grid formation. The red lights go out, the race has officially started. 1,440 minutes, or nearly 86,500 seconds, until we see the checkered flag. From the word go, battles through the field. Seat Racing, starting from pole, has managed to stay in front in the first few corners. The 28 of Land Motorsport is pushing to take the lead, and they're not the only ones. Right down the grid, positions change in the first couple of laps. The battle between the two Audis at the head of the field, the number 28 does manage to go through. The event is made up of 9 different classes of cars, from Mini Coopers to Ferraris, so it doesn't take long for the faster GT class machinery to catch up with the slightly slower touring cars. There's a simple rule in the 24-hour series: everyone is in their own race. That means everyone has a right to the racing line. If you're faster and you need to overtake, then you may have to go off that ideal racing line. Indeed, off that racing line, there may well be less grip, as Duncan Heisman found out in the number 18 V8 Racing Mercedes. Last season's overall champions are in the pit lane quickly. There's braking issues.
If the problem's going to happen, it's better to happen in the first few hours. We lost 3 laps. That's not very much in a 24-hour race. So we carry on chasing. We're doing as good as we can. We're back in first place in our class already. So the fight's still on. There's a lot to fight for still.
Drama for Xavier Masson in the 78 MRS GT Racing Porsche.
There was a Ginetta that lost control by himself near him in the braking zone for turn 1, and unfortunately crashed into Xavier from behind and took him out, and he hit the wall in turn 1 very hard. And actually he just completely destroyed the car, and so we will have to do a different chassis for Mugello. He got a good knock on the head as well. He does have a concussion, but he's been to hospital and everything is going to be fine. He's going to be a couple of days before he knows which way is up again.
Racing here is all about how you handle yourself in traffic. Can you avoid others who perhaps haven't seen you overtaking? And here in the desert, the shifting sands makes it even harder to stray from the ideal line. The Zorg Rennsport number 151 BMW was leading in the Cup 1 class, but loses valuable time. But the HRT Performance Porsche number 74 has much bigger issues.
Il a chauffé, on a perdu la courroie en fait d'alternateur. Elle s'est mise à chauffer dans la grande.
Some oil alarm, the water alarm. So he slowed down, and then he saw something was not normal. So he said box, 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 because he wanted to come back to the pit, and then suddenly the car went into the car bumped into the barrier.
The 151 Zorg Rennsport BMW with Chris James driving has an accident with Rainer Partl in the 146 BMW from Bonk Motorsport.
I go my normal line and I drive inside with normal fast. It's not so fast, easy. and he come inside, he come outside and come back, and he take around and make a turn off, and I switched in the door. Sorry.
Having to apologise for your racing mistakes is common practice in the 24-hour series. No one on this huge grid is here to intentionally cause an accident, and when they do occur, sometimes they can be down to multiple causes.
I was on the inside and he kept coming across over to my side. Eventually I had to go on the curb, but then the car bottoms out and you go straight, so we touched. I mean, he should have seen me. In the end, you know, you need to anticipate on people not seeing you as well, so partly I should take the blame on me as well.
Fireworks make it even more eventful, but this race is far from over. Presenza.eu is trying to pass the Modern Motorsport Renault Clio number 216, but there's not enough space left to brake as well as make the move. Scuderia Praha is the current race leader. The Czech team has high hopes for their Ferrari this season. However, as they overtake the 51 Ginetta of Primus Racing, things go very wrong.
Yeah, the leader was a Ferrari from Scuderia Praha. Unfortunately, he had an accident and don't know what happened, or not, I don't know what happened exactly, but it was a shame because it was the leader, and it's always a shame when the leader has an accident.
The 11 Ferrari is out of the race. The lead is now a battle between two Audi R8 LMS, the number 28 of Land Motorsport, and the 19 of Team WRT.
The Audis are in the lead, and that's a big surprise because Audi never won here at the circuit of Dubai. So, well, we have to wait 12 more hours to see if they can stay in the lead.
Yes, there's never been an Audi that has won this race. I know it's primarily been the Mercs that have been winning this event. But obviously we're in an Audi, and we're running strong at the moment. We've been battling for the lead, first and second, so hopefully we'll be able to break that record.
Halfway through the race, it's Land Motorsport leading, followed by the Belgian Audi Club team WRT. The Austrian team Conrad Motorsport have taken third overall with the number 26 Lamborghini Huracan GT3. The first of the A6 AM cars is in 6th position. The number 10 Hofer Racing Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG is ahead of 14 Pro cars. Second in class, 7th overall, the 22 of Prezi Spark. They're a lap ahead of third in class, 34 Car Collection Audi. In A2, it's Hong Kong-based Modern Motorsport Clio number 216 who lead, just ahead of the Mini Cooper of Bezoplas Racing in second. BDS Racing Adventures have got the 173 Honda Civic to the third position. Belgian Audi Club team WRT is setting a good pace. Second position overall, but that doesn't mean racing is easy.
A lot of dust, very, very slippery, and a lot of traffic too. And if you change the line, you are in trouble because you take on the tires, the rubber, the dust, and so on. And when you arrive at the braking, it's so difficult to turn.
The 24-hour series proves year after year that racing at night is at least as exciting as racing during the day. Of course, a major difference is that your reference points are not as easily seen as during the day. Maybe that's why some teams use their more experienced drivers in the hours of darkness.
In the night time, because the first experience is not so good, so I prefer to drive in daytime, is better.
The long night is about to end as the sun is slowly rising over the United Arab Emirates.
Stint was great. I think now the field is all settled now and everybody's behaving. Enjoyed my last ride. I think I'll be going again.
The city of Dubai is well awake now this Saturday morning. In the TCR class, Mehmet Ogilvy is already on course to win their first race of the year. In this team, it's a family affair. The brothers are racing, the sister is team manager. Doesn't that create the standard brother-sister arguments?
Before we come to the track, she's my younger sister. As soon as we get to the track, she's the boss. And she's a great one. She's a really amazing team manager. She's so organized and so caring and understanding, but still very strict when she has to be. And yeah, we do what she does. She's the boss. You know, they've got the job of getting the car to the finish line the best possible way. The drivers are one of the tools to do that. as well as the engineers and everyone else. So they're the ones trying to put it all together. We don't see the bigger picture. We just drive. They're the ones who are looking at the overall thing about getting us to the finish line as fast as possible.
As the 24-hour mark approaches, a comfortable lead still means nothing if you hit trouble. The number 26 Conrad Motorsport Lamborghini has been battling for third position overall for some time. The engine gives up.
When I was in the car, the problem actually started and we were losing power slowly, bit by bit. And at one point it stayed constant, and we were talking with the technicians and we decided we continue to drive, and we were going for the podium. It was going to be a tough fight now in the last stint with Abt Audi. But we had now, after the pit stops, a gap of over 1 minute for half an hour. So even though the pace was bad, I think it could have been enough. So we tried everything. In the end, the engine failed. That's racing.
And the Land Motorsport Audi number 28, which was in the battle for overall victory, has to throw in the towel. They've been battling with gear shift issues, can't get between 5th and 6th, and now the gearbox is failing altogether. That's why the 24-hour endurance races are the ultimate test for men and machine. Even on the last lap, there's a crash for the number 80 Porsche.
Maybe he was also a little bit nervous because his was his first 24-hour race, his first time in Dubai, and then he drove the last stint, which is a very special thing for every driver here at the TCE Series and also in Dubai. And maybe he was a bit too nervous, and then it happened.
After 24 hours, Belgian Audi Club team WRT take the checkered flag at the Dubai Autodrome. The team is happy, the drivers are happy, and the car manufacturer is happy.
I think it was the last big endurance race we didn't won so far with our GT3 cars, and now we did it. I think now we won everything, so I'm absolutely overwhelmed.
It's a traditional camel ride to the podium for the overall top three as we take a look at the final standings for the Hankook 24 Hours of Dubai 2016. Belgian Audi Club team WRT take the victory in their number 19 Audi. Second, the number 16 Mercedes of Black Falcon. Third, the Seat Racing number 4 Audi. Fourth overall is the first A6 AM car, number 10 of Hofer Racing. Lechner Racing Middle East in the number 40 Porsche take the 991 class. The SP2 category is won by Porsche Lorient Racing in the 64. The number 229 Ginetta from Century Motorsport takes SP3. Full championship points for the TCR class go to the number 1 team of Memak Ogilvy Dual Racing. The A3 class here in Dubai was won by the team Ultran number 208 Peugeot. The A2 class winner, Bezoplas Racing. And the Cup 1 class is taken by the QSR BMW M235i. The second round of the 24-hour series powered by Hankook was in Mugello, Italy.
Mugello, always a wonderful circuit, good atmosphere, good competition, and yes, also a thing which is nice on our calendar.
This event saw the return to circuit racing for former Formula 1 driver Robert Kubica, joining his rally pal Martin Prokop.
I want to start the circuit racing, and we had absolutely no experience with it, so I asked Robert a few times about racing. He told me something, and then I called him, "Hey Robert, do you want to help me?" He said, "Yeah, I have nothing to do."
Having such an experienced driver as your teammate should surely help Martin to make a flying start in circuit racing.
We are both professional drivers in the World Rally Championship, but on a circuit for me is a lot of new things, but he is really experienced, and all the details he's always pushing, and he's pushing to the team, and so for me to work with him is really perfect.
But driving in a mixed class field is brand new for Robert too.
Yeah, I mean, that's characteristic of this event, so we have to live with it, and for sure there is quite a lot of things going on. Mugello is a very nice track, but pretty narrow. So there is, I think the biggest difficulty is that the speed difference between the cars. Here we have nearly all kind of car categories together, so you get some cars running very slow, and of course all these drivers, they are trying to go as fast as they can, so they are concentrating on themselves, but the speed difference is so huge, so you really have to watch out.
One car came all the way to Mugello but didn't make the start.
Stuart Hall was out in qualifying, and he had loss of power and came to a halt without the engine running. So We're still investigating it at the moment, but something has gone wrong engine-wise, and with the race starting in just over an hour, it's too much to try and change before the start of the race.
But 63 other cars did see the light go green at the start of the race. Alfa Nation started from pole position and managed to hold it. Kubica in the MP Mercedes-Benz 777 is in a battle to gain a spot. But the 32 Ferrari of MJC Furlonger holds on to their second position.
I wanted to try and take the lead. The Lamborghini got a really sharp start, and we got into a bit of a rhythm. And you know, we were dicing, I was trying to pass for the lead. Unfortunately, the Lamborghini came across and put me on the grass, and I lost a position or two. But the plan is to try to stay on the lead lap today, so we get a good start tomorrow, and then let's see what happens. You know, tomorrow we've got 8 hours, anything can happen, and we'll do our best.
Tactics and strategy will be crucial as this race is split into 2 parts. The first 4 hours on Friday, the remaining 8 completed on the Saturday.
Yeah, the first race is here today, and it's here at Mugello, and I want to win the race. And Sunday morning I will have to go to the hospital, and then on Monday I will have a big surgery which will make me try to get rid of my cancer, and if not I will die, and if I do survive I will be back. So not only a race with a car, but a race for my life as well.
We're happy to say that Lisette is still with us, and we hope to see her back soon in the 24-hour series. Right through the field, people are battling for position. Robert Kubica has had to abandon the fight for the lead for now. A suspension failure forces his car into the garage.
Normally suspension failure can be from different reasons, so I don't know the reason. I didn't have any contact, so I don't know if the problem was before or that, but the fact is that in lap 6 or 7, on braking into last corner, my front right suspension failed.
The 203 of Vortex V8 running second in SP2, but fighting to take first position in class. First overall is now the 911 Preggett Herbert Motorsport Porsche. They run into difficulties.
I drive very fast and going in the left and right curve, and then I feel that I have no power, and then the motor goes out. I believe it's end of the race, yeah.
Preggett Herbert Motorsport are running this Porsche for the first time. There are other teams who've brought new machinery to this event as well, and drivers who are in unfamiliar cars. All of those factors can cause unplanned stops.
I don't know the car. It's the first time with this car. And it's 2-3 mistakes from myself, not for the guy or for the team, but only myself. Because I listen different noise in the car, but this is only pick up in the tire. It's completely different to Porsche or to Mercedes.
Just before the end of Friday's 4 hours of racing, the 333 of V8 Racing has taken the lead.
Started on P7, which was good. We didn't do too crazy in qualifying. The first stint was very good, conservative. We came in without any trouble. Second stint as well, and third stint we were able to catch the lead. So far so good. Let's hope we can continue like this tomorrow.
After the first 4 hours of the race are finished, the cars will go into Parc Fermé on the start-finish grid, and will remain there for the rest of the night. Teams are not allowed to work on their cars. Gaps within 1 lap are eliminated, and we reposition the cars for the start grid tomorrow, starting in the overall lead procedure. And tomorrow we can celebrate the next 8 hours of the Hankook 12 Hours Italy Mugello.
The interim checkered flags are out, so let's have a look at the standings after the first day of racing. Starting first on tomorrow's grid, the 333 of the Dutch team V8 Racing. The American team Scuderia Cameron Glickenhaus has their 702 car in second position. The Brits of Optimum Motorsport hold third in their number 14 Audi. In SP2, LMS Engineering have their Audi in first position. They're 2 laps ahead of Vortex V8 number 203. There's another 2 laps back towards third position, the Speed Lover team with car 85. In the SPX class, there's a lap between each of the top 3. The GTL Lamborghini Huracan leads, Sportec number 58 Lamborghini Huracan second, and number 45 Artea Porsche 991 is in third. Saturday morning, 8 hours of racing left in the Hankook's 12 hours of Mugello. Teams are gearing up to restart the race. Leading the SP2 class, LMS Engineering.
Well, the target is for sure to finish the race, and until now we are the leader of our class, so we hope we can hold this and bring it to the finish line.
The lights go off and the second leg of the race is underway. But just to indicate the size of the grid in this endurance race, not everybody's even out of the final corner.
There is a lot of traffic out there, a lot of slow cars as well. The speed difference between the cars are quite big, and this makes it sometimes difficult to see if you can overtake or if you shouldn't, that you don't have an accident.
In the fastest A6 class, there are two different groups. The professional cars, who need at least one gentleman driver sharing the car, and the amateur teams, who can only have one professional driver. Different skill levels and experience within the cars does help in driver development. Team MJC Furlonger, for instance, very happy to have Porsche Carrera Cup and European Le Mans driver Rory Butcher as part of their team.
I'm probably an old dog you can't teach new tricks to, but he's an extremely valuable guy then, and he speaks to everybody about the racing and what's what with the car. Feedback is immense. He's just a good man to have in a car, and if he's on your side, you'll have a good day.
The paddock and surrounding areas are bustling with the energy from the teams, and in the paddock too.
This represents our most important race for the cars. It's the third year we host this race, and it was a surprise, every year increasing. We have a lot of people coming to see this special race because there was an old tradition out in Mugello too of endurance race.
I like it. I am living here with Borgo San Lorenzo. I like it, Lamborghini. It's a good race. It's the time is good. Everything is good.
We handle our events with a low fee entrance. Depending on the racetrack, a small admission fee might be asked, but to most races of the 24-hour series, entry is for free.
Plenty of excitement for the spectators, while the event organisers are handing out special Italian treats to the teams. The Bezaplast Racing number 165 Mini Cooper might not be the fastest car on the track, but they are the current leaders in the A2 class. We often talk about driver errors. Sometimes it isn't the driver, but the team that makes the mistake.
When at the pit stop, there was a problem with fixing the wheel nut on the car. The driver went out on the track, and then there was a problem with the wheel nut that was a bit loose. So we tell the driver to slow down on the track and to come back slowly into the pit.
Endurance racing is just one sort of motorsport. How does it compare to rallying?
That was a big question if I will like circuit racing or not, because I never raced before. So far I have to say I like the circuit racing. Yeah, I'm enjoying the overtaking and fighting with the others. So yeah, good. So far it's good on this point.
The 24-hour series is powered by Hankook tyres. Every car in the field running on Hankook rubber.
I think the tyres are great. I mean, it's like any other tyre. They sort of have their 2-lap window where they are ultimate performance, but there's no sort of huge drop-off. They just gradually drop off and then hit a sort of level where you can stay consistent for, I mean, we've been doing times on 2-hour-old tyres that we've been doing on 10-minute-old tyres. It's a great tyre, and I think, you know, for an endurance series, it's perfect.
And the teams push their Hankook tyres to the very limit.
Towards the end of my stint, the tyre just blew, and like everything in this race, it happened in turn 1. So it could have happened before the last corner, and I could have directly pitted like this. I had to do one complete lap of the circuit, and we lost a lot of time. And yeah, it happens.
The Optimum Motorsport Audi can't get into its pit under its own steam. This gives an opportunity to the number 10 to catch up. In the A3 class, the 101 has a good lead.
Well, we have a lot of accidents and lots of technical problems from the other team, and so we swim in front. But we're driving fast, we have no problems at all, and so we're just rolling, and that's long distance race, and that's it.
An hour before the end of the race, drama as the race leader stops on track. Once again, there's no power. Drivers need to avoid the number 14 Audi. Not everybody makes it.
I could literally, let's say, could avoid the incident like an inch. And then the first thing I did was I looked in the mirror and I saw, I think, a car flying in the air, and it was bizarre.
The two cars are badly damaged. The good news is the drivers walk away unscathed. After the clean-up and the resulting Code 60, the battle is back on for the last few minutes of the race. Not everyone manages to keep their wheels pointing in the right direction. There are no more major incidents before the end of the race. Teams are preparing themselves to celebrate their efforts. With multiple classes, there are a lot of people who'll be taking home a beautiful BRM trophy from Mugello. The overall win is taken by the 333 of V8 Racing. Father and son Brahms, Pastorelli and Ramos on the top step of the podium. Confirmation of V8 Racing taking the victory, Hofer in second and GRT Grasser Racing in third. Fourth, and the winners of the A6 AM category, number 17 IDEC Sport Racing, 991 class winner, number 78 MRS GT Racing Porsche. The Audi 206 of LMS Engineering wins the SP2 class. Local team Nova Race wins SP3 in car number 284. TCR Sport in the 140 wins the TCR class. In A3, it's a win for Hofer Kuiper Racing with a 20-lap victory. Cup 1 class is taken by the 146 of Bonk Motorsport, and Besserplas Racing gets maximum points for winning the A2 category. And now we pack up to head to the UK for the next round of the 24-hour endurance series powered by Hankook. The third race of the 24-hour series powered by Hankook 2016 was on the 1st and 2nd of April in central England. And just as in the village itself, drivers were advised to drive carefully, especially as rain was expected.
It was our first race of the Touring Cars Endurance Series. However, the teams within these classes up to GT4, they run also in the 24-hour series. They could score points for both series, and also the drivers. If even the GT drivers, if they would run, let's say in a TCR car, they could run for gain points for 2 races, which actually worked. We had a good entry, over 40 cars in Silverstone.
4 o'clock in the afternoon and the 24 Hours of Silverstone is underway. Last year's championship winners take the lead into the first corner, pushing Paulson to GR Motorsport down to second, and the Seat of Team Blake & Moreland to third. The last car to start is the green BMW of Team ABBA with Roll Centre Racing. They broke their drive shaft and couldn't qualify, so now have to battle their way through the entire field.
We started last. And my aim was to try and get us back into where the car should be running for its pace. So I had to push very early, very hard. Whilst everyone else was still being cautious and warming tyres up, I was pushing very hard to try and get back through the field.
Sebastian Blake & Moreland takes the lead from Phil Quaife in the number 1 Seat, but the lead would bounce back and forth for quite some time. Sometimes a technical issue can show you can get a slight advantage by driving just a bit slower.
After one lap, I already noticed that we had a little bit less power than the day before. So the first 2 hours we drove with a little bit less power. Because of that, we could run a little bit longer. So we came in when we were first, and we reset the car, so now it is good.
Sponsorship from certain categories has been banned for many years in motorsport. You might be forgiven for thinking otherwise when you look at the number 139 Seat of Sub-Zero Wolf smoking around the track. At the home of the British Grand Prix, it's slowly getting dark.
Fortunately, the barriers are further away here, so although it's an iconic track and it's a really well-known, really fast and great track like the Nürburgring, it's a little bit safer, and hopefully more cars will finish.
Yeah, it's a really amazing track. I love the first few corners, the left, right, and yeah, all the corners are also amazing. I think for a front-wheel drive, to get in the fast corner a little bit slippery at the back, and then just full throttle, it's amazing.
This is not a race you want to lose.
It's very competitive. Being lapped by our competitors in the same class early on was a bit, I need to pull my finger out and get going, but it's our first Creventic race, our first 24-hour. We're learning as we go along. It's a long race and it won't be won in the first few hours.
It's important to get your eyes adjusted to driving in the dark, although with bright lights in your rear view mirror, that's not always easy. Soon there's even more to adjust to. It's starting to rain. Rain tyres ready on standby for when the teams decide to switch over. For some, the decision was made easy as a code 60 came at roughly the right time. The pit lane quickly filled up as cars came in for the new rubber. Running under a code 60 is a new innovation for this British circuit. The series race director had to convince everyone of the effectiveness of this format.
I took the safety officers of the MSA into a car on track and showed them in the dark how it is to work under a code 60. We went out of the pit lane and the code 60 came, and in 20 seconds it was all in silence and at reduced speed. They were amazed that it was so quick. We went over the track and they saw how every driver behaved during a code 60. That was fantastic to see. We stepped out of the car, we make a walk on the track in the dark during a code 60, and they were convinced this was the most safe way to work.
British officials were so impressed with how code 60 worked, they've now introduced it into national events using Creventic's regulations as a base. New rubbers now on most cars, but it doesn't guarantee a perfect grip. K&S Motorsport does keep the 123 BMW on track with a fabulous drift. Rain's not the biggest problem for VDS Racing and their number 173.
It was because of the oil pump. The first feeling was never give up. So we had a broken engine. We decided to change it. So we may go to the track again.
The beginning of April in Britain, cold nights and wet weather, all adds up to fogged up windscreens.
I was a bit crazy because the windshield fogged up, and then so we can't really see. With the spray, with the rain, with the fogging up the windshield, with the fog, really was driving the blind. But it was quite intense, enjoyable in a suicidal kind of way.
Yeah, I had quite a good battle with car 303. We traded places a couple of times for position 2. We swapped a couple of times. It made it interesting. You know, it's obviously very early days. Doesn't really matter yet, but nonetheless, if someone's out there and they're in front of you, you want to overtake them. So it made it interesting.
4 o'clock in the morning, 12 hours of racing gone. Team Blakemorland holding the lead at the halfway mark of the 24 hours. 2 laps back, the 303 Seat of Red Camel Jordans.nl, and then another 2 laps further back, third place Team ABBA with Roll Centre. 8th overall, the 194 diesel BMW of Recce Racing Team. They're leading the D1 diesel class. Second in that category, the 195 of Red Camel Jordan.nl. Philippe Verscher with the 198 BMW in third. The ABBA BMW in third overall is also leading the SP Touring class. GR Motorsport a close second with their 102. Third is Saxon Motorsport with their number 107 car, and they've got a 5-lap gap. Vortex V8 the number 203.
Yeah, we have a good race so far. We're leading the pack with, I believe, 7 or 8 minutes. So that's quite a lot. We had a good strategy. We were a bit lucky with the code 60s. And yeah, hopefully we can make it till the end in this position, of course.
6 class leaders, all just as happy as each other.
It was a very difficult drive out there, but we kept our first number in the A2 class, so we are very, very happy.
At this point, we're 5th overall and we're leading our class. And let's hope it stays this way. In front of us, we've got quite a gap from, I think, about 5 or 6 laps, and behind us about 4 laps. So if everything stays normal, we should stay in 5th position.
All throughout this event, as in all in the series, Hankook service engineers are at hand to help the teams.
We brought in here 5 engineers, which gave service to teams to find the right setup for every single car. This night we had really low temperatures, up to 7 degrees. This was really, really low temperature. So therefore our engineers gave recommendations to teams to increase the pressure, to inflate more pressure inside, because this is too cold to heat up the tire properly. Therefore we need more air inside the tire.
At the start of the race, Team Mehmet Ogilvy took the lead at the first corner. But during the night, they've dropped away from the battle for the lead.
we knew at night, and especially in the rain, we're not going to be as quick as the other teams because we simply just don't have the experience in the wet. Living in the Middle East, you don't get that as much. And the other teams were very, very quick at night, so we fell back. As the daylight has come, we've kept our pace, we've maintained our race pace that we wanted, and we're there or thereabouts where we want to be at this stage. It's still a long way to go.
The field is exceptionally close. Just about every class has a representative in the overall top 10, despite the power differences and the different types of cars. This is because of the hard work put in by Creventic to balance the cars using reference times, weight requirements and fuel allowances.
The series is great. You know, we've got a load of touring cars here, and it's nice to be able to race against, well, such a mixed field, but also such a close field. I think in the dry conditions there was about 10 seconds between the fastest and slowest cars, and when you've got 50 cars on the circuit, that really does make for some good racing.
Suddenly, there's difficulties for the race leader.
The car was very good, and in split second it was boom, broken. So it was done with the race. The engine is completely broken, so we have to build a new one.
The green ABBA Racing BMW takes the lead, and remember, this is the car that started the race in last position. The turbo in the Saxon BMW is failing, and the team has to retire their, what coloured car?
You know what, I'm not entirely sure why the car is as black as this. It's pretty filthy. I think there's just a lot of rubber down, and where it's been raining and we've been a bit offline, it all picks up a little bit. But I think add a bit of diesel smoke to it, and it just sticks to the car lovely. So we started with something silver, and it's now a lovely shade of black.
The number 1 Seat of Mehmet Ogilvy Dual Racing takes a lap back from the race leader. The ABBA 246 BMW, though, has such a big lead, it's surely going to be impossible to push them off the top step of the podium. Pro Oyster Racing's number 71 will not have such a good result.
Well, we finished 6th in class. We should have been on the podium with the crew we had, but you know, this is racing. Who first come, we first go on the podium, and we are not there today.
Darren Cox caps a brilliant team effort and takes the checkered flag for Team ABBA with Roll Centre Racing, a real back-to-front victory. 6 classes, of course, means there are more winners as well.
Well, finish first. Obviously, 24 hours is not easy. We know the rain was coming for the night, and it's always very, very difficult to keep on the track. But of course, we were very competitive in the class, so the first place is what we were targeting. Now we have it. The 4th place on scratch is just amazing. We're very happy. The team made a great work. Thank you, Team Altron.
The first 24 hours of Silverstone was in 2005, a Britcar event, and it was Balfe Motorsport with Roll Centre Racing who won it. With the event now rebooted as the Hankook 24 Hours of Silverstone, once again it's Roll Centre at the overall top spot, this time with Team ABBA. Second, the 303 of Red Camel Jordans, and third, Mehmet Ogilvy Dual Racing. And the class winners of the Hankook 24 Hours of Silverstone in TCR, Red Camel Jordans number 303, SP Touring, the overall winner, Team ABBA with Roll Centre Racing. Year 3 was won by Team Altron Peugeot in the 208. Group 1, JJ Motorsport with their 154 car. Modena Motorsport topped the A2 category, and Recce Racing with their 194 BMW won the D1 class. Next up, we're racing in the Dutch dunes. For the 4th round of the 24-hour endurance series, we've travelled to the country of windmills, tulips and bicycles. This is the Netherlands. On the North Sea coastline of Holland is the famous circuitpark Zandvoort.
That was actually our real home race, which was in Zandvoort, another 12-hour race in the dunes, the Dutch dunes, and also a good race, good competition, and yeah, we carry on this way.
With respect to the noise regulations at this Dutch circuit, just as in Mugello, this Hankook 12 Hours of Zandvoort will be in 2 parts. The grid is filling for the first hours of racing, but the 224 car ran into difficulties driving towards the starting grid.
I come in on the start, somebody scream fire, fire, and fireman, and no, I don't know. Now I think we can start. Guys now speaking about it's not possible. I don't know. We will see.
The car was pushed back to the garage and needed over 2 hours of repair before he could join the race. The rest of the grid did start their 2 warm-up laps and have now started the first 3 hours of racing. Within the first few 100 metres, it looks like the drivers have forgotten this is an endurance race as the battle was on from the word go. 3 cars disputing the lead before reaching the first corner.
Oh, it was, like always, very good. It's Christian Frankenhaut's home racetrack. So he passed from second position to first position in the first corner. Nothing we want more, that's fine.
Zandvoort is not an easy circuit on which to race. Formerly the site of the Grand Prix of Holland, has some tricky corners and being in the dunes often suffers from sand on the track. Plenty of reasons then to see a few cars getting into difficulties even this early in the race. The 127 off track is due to a technical issue though. Melvin quickly comes into the pit lane to let the more experienced Sebastian Blekemolen check what's wrong with the car.
Yeah, the one that gives the traction actually. I think there's too much space so that the wheel is going to the right and the left a little bit. And it can be fractional, it can be a couple of millimeters. But because of these couple of millimeters, by the force of the car that it will create in the corner, a huge power pushing the car out. So I think Sebastian will come in to change that part.
There's plenty of action out on track. The faster A6 and 991 class cars, and their drivers really need to keep their wits about them for each and every overtaking manoeuvre.
Well, in a GT3 car on a narrow track, you're making lots of passes, making maybe 7, 8, 9 passes a lap. You have to sometimes take the opinion, has the car in front seen me? Sometimes, or most of the time you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong.
And you have to avoid others when they make mistakes. Chantal Kroll has to get out of the way of the 103 BMW of GR Motorsport. That incident could have cost her the lead of the race, as the number 30 Ram Mercedes is in close combat. Shortly before the checkered flag waves though, it's Paul White that gets involved in an incident.
I was very, very close to 2 Porsches. The first Porsche stayed in the middle of the circuit. I thought he'd seen me, so I went inside him, but he hadn't seen me. So I just hit the side of him and paid the price.
So Chantal Kroll in the number 9 of Hofer Racing finishes first in the initial 3 hours of the event. The race continues tomorrow. In the meantime, the cars are kept in Parc Fermé, nobody allowed to touch them or work on them. So, time for a paddock-wide barbecue party instead. We, in the meanwhile, will look at the standings. Hofer number 9 with Chantal Kroll ends the day in the lead. Second, the 911 of Brecketh Herbert Motorsport. The 33 of Car Collection Motorsport in third. All 3 cars on the same lap. In 8th overall is the first of the 991 class Porsches. It's MRS GT Racing. Are leading their class, of course, 1 lap up on the number 73 HRT Performance. B2F Competition with their Porsche 991 Cup car in third in that class. In A3, Team Ultram Peugeot has both of their Peugeot 208s at the top of the class. First the number 208, a 2-lap lead over the sister car, the 205. Third in class, Sorg Rensport BMW number 151.
In Zandvoort there are noise restrictions, so we cannot run overnight. That's the reason why we have a 12-hour race. And then to fit in 12-hour race in one day, that would be something from 9 to 9. Even in the evening, it's not allowed to make that much of noise. That's the reason why we make a split, which actually is really appreciated by our teams. It works well.
Saturday morning and the second leg of this endurance race is about to get underway. Hofer Racing number 9 on the pole position for this part. The usual 2 warm-up laps have been completed, the light has gone off and it's the start of the final 9 hours. Straight away, Christian Frankenhout has repeated his action from the day before in the number 10 car.
It was really great. We started this morning from P4. And at the first corner I could overtake 3 cars on the outside and be in first place again, only with one lap behind.
Explaining the lap behind, for the restart of the race, the grid was sorted by class and any time between the cars was taken away. But any laps between the cars, well, that remained. The Vortex V8 number 203 has hit the gravel, as has the number 171 Peugeot of Team K. Reijer.
We started in first position in our class, so that was quite good. But we won very old tires, So it's a bit difficult when you're driving on old tires. Very slippery, so I just lost it, but there was no damage to the car.
Good damage has been incurred by Nana Gocha in the 45 Porsche.
I had some problem with the tires, so I only drive maybe 1 hour and 30 minutes, and then there was another car on the inside, and then I came out in the grass and hit the wall, so it was not so good.
It's my second time here. Last year we won the 991 category, so let's hope we can do it again this year, and I really like this track. It's really challenging.
The track here is really good. I really enjoy Zandvoort. It's a fast, quite bumpy circuit. It reminds me a little bit of some of the British circuits.
The 911 Porsche is holding on to the lead of the race. The number 62 Porsche of MSG Motorsport have been catching up after time lost due to an accident yesterday. But Nico Rindlisbacher is once again involved in an accident, and now the car is really out of the race. And at the same time, the SP3 class leader GR Motorsport have their BMW back in the garage with gearbox issues.
I did some very fast things, but we had some difficulties with the cooling of the gearbox. So we had to come in, and the changing took more than 10 laps. So that put us from the first position to position 6. We lost 10 laps, so something like 20 minutes.
And the 991 class leader also has to give up its lead due to gearbox issues.
We could put another gearbox in, but we already lost a lot of time with that. And so it doesn't make sense now for us. It's really a shame because we were in the lead, in the easy lead in the class. We had like 1 lap before P2. So yeah, it's really a shame.
It's a hot day at the Dutch circuit, but the extra airflow on the 103 GR Motorsport BMW isn't really strictly within the regulations. The passenger doors collected from the main straight and reattached to the BMW using the magical ingredients that can fix anything, tie wraps and racer tape. The 203 goes off at turn 1 and needs to be recovered. It's the last pit stop for race leader Prekert Herbert Motorsport.
Today was perfect, as well as the pit stops. Everything worked very well. The Porsche is very quick here on Zandvoort, and yeah, looks brilliant.
But even close to the end of 12 hours, podium positions in class are still being fought over.
Yeah, we are middle a big fight with the other Clio 3 in our class. We are now on the 3rd place. So it's gonna be very, very narrow at the ending of the race. So we are crossing our fingers that we get the 3rd place.
And it's the same story in the A6 class.
We're currently 4th. We're about a minute off 3rd with just under 8 minutes to go. Realistically, we're doing 2 seconds a lap faster, so we're not going to catch them. But the slightest problem, and we may just nick a podium after all.
12 hours of racing finished. Overall win, Prekert Herbert Motorsport. The overall podium will be the same as the A6 class, so it's Prekert Herbert Motorsport, Massive Motorsport and Hofer Racing that take the top 3 steps. In the other classes, a steady race has secured the win for HRT Performance, the 72 car in the 991 class. In SP2, it's the 206 of LMS Engineering. In TCR, a commanding 22-lap victory goes to NKPP Racing. It will be a BRM trophy for Tischner Motorsport in SP3. A great result in A3 for Team Ultron. They had their Peugeot 208s in 1st and 2nd position. And as the sun is setting, the A2 class celebrates the win for the 99 Honda of Team RKC TGM.
We'll be doing the next Gravantic race, which I forget. Is that Paul Ricard? I think, yeah. So we'll be seeing everyone at Paul Ricard again.
That's partly true. First, we go to the next round in the Touring Car Endurance Series. The next race in the 2016 season was held near Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. This is the second round of the Touring Car Endurance Series powered by Hankook, the new sister competition to the 24-hour series. Together with races at Silverstone and Brno, it has its own events. It's not a warm start to race day, and wet weather is on its way.
With the rain and dry and rain, could be possible different strategies, and this is one of the main important things for the race. We are starting slicks in the moment. Why? Because now it's not very slippery, and we think for the prevision that maybe don't rain in a very big intensity.
The lights are off and the race has started. The Slovakia Ring is quite a new circuit, but already in its 7-year history, it's hosted some impressive races. But this is the first ever 24-hour automobile race to be held at this circuit. Early on in the race, it's Rick Breukers in the orange Seat that takes the lead. Second, the Slovakian team of ARC Bratislava. Even with their local knowledge of the track, they can't hold back the 125 of NKPP Racing. The 197 Volkswagen of Team Diesel Power is off the track.
I had a pretty good start, but I got a bit of a mess up with another participant. So I had to, in the first lap, spun the car to avoid an accident. Because I was on his left and he didn't see me. So I went all the way left, off the track, went into the gravel bed and spun and had to come back. So just to avoid an accident in the first lap.
The first to suffer a mechanical issue was the number 195 of Red Camel Jordans.
The cooling temperature go up too high, and it was even in the right corners it goes up, and in the left corners the temperatures went down. But after 5-6 laps I had to come in, and the guys had a look, and all the water was from the reservoir was gone, so the temperatures were too high in the engine. Then we tried to fill it up again. I drove a little bit slower, then the temperatures went down, but not enough.
And even though it's early in the race, the decision was made to retire the car. In the pits, first and second overall are nose to tail at the fuel stop. The race leader have trouble closing the fuel cap, but they managed to close it just in time to stay ahead of the competition. The organisers call in the number 175 for Scantech Racing, as it's dragging some bodywork, and that could be a danger to other drivers.
It was a part of the diffuser from the car, and it happened just in one of the first laps. We don't know, only of driving, nothing special.
Meantime, ARC Bratislava have gone into the overall lead. In D1, the 197 diesel power car isn't quite getting enough power out of its diesel.
It looked like the tank was empty, but was actually impossible. So I did go in, get some extra gas, and then after half an hour I lost power, and the tank was empty again. And now we found out that it was impossible to get a lot of gas in it, or diesel in this case.
So was it hard to get used to this new track?
So I didn't know what to expect in this track. I looked at YouTube for 10 minutes probably, and then you just start doing your rounds, and you just try to remember every corner, and every time a little bit better. A few corners we are discussing about what's the best way to drive. It's quite tricky, especially inside. But it's really challenging, this circuit, yes.
Series sponsor Hankook is also happy to be here in Slovakia.
Yes, of course, we sell our products in around 180 countries around the world. So therefore Slovakia is one of these countries, like Dubai, or we also go into France for the next round, where these are places where we sell our products. Therefore we are welcome, and it's always nice to go to different countries.
It's been a pretty clean race, and most teams are looking back on just perfect stints. It's not the case for the Swiss team of diesel power. Their car is losing power again, and they can't fix that here. They'll have to retire. Night is drawing in over the southwestern Slovakian landscape, and even if you know the circuit from daytime racing, you'll still need to adapt to the new driving conditions of full night.
This is our track from my country. I know this track, and it's so fast track. There's no problem to overtake, but first time I'm driving at night. And what is the problem that in some place in one corner the car is going opposite side, and we took together opposite side, and the light is from another car, and I don't know which is the problem. If it's somebody spin before me or some problem, and it's difficult, but I like racing and it's nice.
had a bit of an excursion across the grass because our lights aren't really as good as they could be. But the car's going well. Not really quick enough to catch the other three in the class, but the car's running well and we're doing the best we can with what we've got.
The most important thing about this track is to keep your tires well. If you push too hard, your tires go off and then you're losing a lot of time. So you really have to fight to keep your tires good.
12 hours done, time to look at the standings. TCR class cars are in the top 4 positions overall, and they're all Seats. The BMWs of the Cup 1 category are close by, and just 5 laps further back from 5th on down. The rest of the top 8 are Renaults from the A2 class. Heading the TCR class, and therefore overall leader as well, ARC Bratislava with a lap over the 2nd position car. That's now the 303 of Red Camel Jordan.nl. They've gained a lap over the 125 of NKPP Racing. Just 3 laps from 3rd in A2 class is the D1 class leader, that's Austrian team Winkler Tuning, the Diesel Power 197 and the 195 Red Camel Jordan.nl. Both of those cars are in the garage now and have retired. The race here in Slovakia has shown us some of the tightest and hardest battling of the whole series so far.
Fantastic, a really nice battle. It's very, very, very close. Racing with cup cars, they're all the same, so it's really up to the drivers. And it's incredible, after 1,000 kilometers, all in the same lap, it's a real nice battle. We also have a good atmosphere and we're laughing among each other, so it's really nice.
It's deep into the night before we see the first Code 60.
In the night, the car lost in turn number 2, a bit of the line and went too wide in the exit of the corner. The complete front is damaged, all radiators, suspension and the left rear side also damaged.
Fortunately, driver Siegfried Kudzes was not injured at all and walked away from the incident. 4 o'clock in the morning, the first vestiges of light herald a new day. With the sunrise, the temperatures rise too. And in daylight, it's Team ARC Bratislava who still have the lead.
It's about not making mistakes, about stable lap times and no mistakes during pit stops.
Vandik done another fantastic job organising a great event. It's a pity that there wasn't more cars here, obviously. They've missed out. It's been really good. It's a fantastic venue. They've got every facility you could think of. It's great.
We are first of the class. We were first right from the beginning, and then unfortunately for our competitor, they had a crash, and we took a lot of laps.
Team Red Camel Jordan's running second in class, but close to the finish of the race, an accident knocks the race leaders in the 134 Seat Leon into the gravel and hands the lead to the orange number 303. It's time to play it safe for the leaders in the Cup 1 class.
We've had a lot of problems, so we just wanted to get to the end of the race, so it was kind of nursing the car back. So it wasn't kind of a flat-out pace, but it was a kind of nursing the car, keeping the revs low, braking early, just keeping the car in one piece for the finish.
As the 24 hours of racing ticks towards the end of the event, we're still unsure of who will win the race. ARC Bratislava is now catching up and clearly wants that lead back.
I think they will win because our tires are completely gone and they are a little bit quicker, so unless they get another technical problem, I think they will win.
And Rick is right. Just a few minutes before the end of the 24 hours, the ARC Bratislava number 134 takes the lead on their home track in this first ever 24-hour endurance race on this circuit. And when the flag falls, they have a 20.9 second lead. As we look at the standings, it's clear just how close all of the cars and class results were. So under 21 seconds, the winning margin for Team ARC Bratislava, powered by Furry Monsters. Clearly their local knowledge and some very good team racing clinched their overall win. The Red Camel Jordans.nl team car number 303 is second overall, third NKPP Racing by Baz Curtin Racing. The top 3 in the TCR class identical to the overall podium. Cup 1 saw a comfortable class win for Speed Lovers number 153 car, second RH Race Engineering, third K&S Motorsport. A first and second for Presenza.eu Racing Team Clio's in the A2 class. In the D1 class, a clear victory for Winkler Tuning in the 190 car.
So we really believe in the current touring car. See, what you see is with the GT3 machinery is really nice, but it's getting upper and upper. So the costs are tough. So I think the touring car series will have a great future.
Silverstone, Hankook, Misano, Barcelona and Spa-Francorchamps. 24-hour touring car endurance series. For many people, the south of France means holidays or possibly even a lovely place to retire. Du pain, du vin, à la mer. And in this beautiful region is the Circuit Paul Ricard, the venue for the 5th round of the 24-hour International Endurance Series powered by Hankook.
The next race was in France, Hankook 24-hour race circuit Paul Ricard. It was a very, very hot race. I think it was over 35 race. I think it was probably the most challenging race for the drivers and of course for the team. And it's a nice environment. Team like to go to Paul Ricard, and we will back there in 2017. You will see, but it was a wonderful race.
And right at the start, a problem immediately for pole sitter Juan Cruz Alvarez.
Sensor of speed in the car who don't allow the ABS system work properly. So I lost the first positions in the first few meters of the race. And after that, I tried to manage that problem, changing all the balance of the brake system.
After just 2 laps, Massive Motorsport has to call in the 55 Aston Martin. They worked overnight to install a new power steering pump in the Aston, and now the new one has failed too.
We've just changed to a new part. We just didn't have anything left, only the one that's not working already. So yeah, we had to retire. And I mean, for us in the end, we've lost more than an hour, and we came here to challenge for the win, not just to participate. That's not what Massive Motorsport is here for. And so yeah. Didn't make sense just to keep running, just to be there on the circuit when all options to be in the top 3, top 5 was just out.
Ferrari number 11 has taken the lead as the first car in the race to get a ride on the flatbed, is the number 209 Vortex of GPC Motorsport.
The fuel pressure drops for the low pressure pump went on default to over temperature. Yeah, the problem of the pump seems to be solved. It just went into protection. We find out why it went to, so they could fix it. Now they just have to find out to restart the engine because there is an issue with the battery low voltage.
Our intrepid marshals make sure that the track is always a place on which it is safe to race.
Yeah, the track is great, but it is very, very hot out here. So the tires are going very quick. That's a little bit difficult.
And now for a strategy lesson. During a short Code 60, Prekert Herbert Motorsport came in for the half a tank of fuel allowed by the rules. Their class competitors have had to pit for their regular stops, and that's allowed the 911 Porsche to run longer into the race and take the lead.
I had a good time so far. 2 hours in the car, everything is running well, the team is working very good. You know, 1 hour 50 in the end, I had a big drop of the tire, but they're looking still okay, so maybe it was only the feeling of the car.
Endurance racing is far more than just driving in circles. You need to have your eyes looking all around you. If you concentrate just on what's happening in front of you, you might miss the car that's just started to overtake you. That's exactly what happened here as the 35 B2F competition Porsche accidentally knocks Nova Racers Ginetta out of the competition. That makes the issues to the number 1 Seat really look rather minor.
In the last corner, coming into the pit lane, my brakes locked up for no reason whatsoever, so I had to go round. As I went around the final lap, I felt the car was all off, so it turns out we lost the front right damper.
Most cars are racing on the limit, or maybe just slightly over it. That's when things can really go wrong.
We went on the straight where we want to overtake a slower car. There was another car also overtaking us. We were with 3 of us on the straight and there was no space and we hit each other and we get in the wall.
Good news is that the drivers are unscathed. The cars are beyond repair in this event. The Scuderia Praha Ferrari has not had the best of laps. It was second overall and working its way towards the front. First the bonnet came loose, then a puncture. They rejoined the field in 9th position. The Mediterranean track is making do with less and less sunlight. Shortly the drivers will be seeing more light in the rear view mirror than in front of them on the track. That is as long as you have a rear view mirror to look through.
We had some minor problems, the mirror broke and we will replace that, so that's nice problems to have.
When we went to the darkness, it was fine, no issues, no problem. The traffic sometimes don't see you, kind of dangerous sometimes, but well, we managed, drivers are behaving well.
It's not been a great race for the 209 Vortex. Already they've had some issues and now their SPX class car has caught fire. This is certainly not the home race that GP Motorsport had hoped for. Code 60 is activated while the race is 12 hours old, so here's the standings at 2:30 in the morning. At the top of the standings, Prekert Herbert Motorsport have extended their overall lead to 3 laps over second place, the SPS Automotive Performance number 27 Mercedes. Scuderia Praha put their Ferrari number 11 back up into third, with the next 4 spots being battled over by A6 amateur class cars. It's the Porsche 997 Cup car of Spark Motorsport. They're leading the SPX class. They've got a huge lead over the 209 Vortex of GPC Motorsport. That's the car that just caught fire on the track. And the Porsche of Arthea Sport. There's more Porsches in the 991 class, of course. The 78 of MRS GT Racing leads this all Porsche category, but has just 1 lap of a lead over the 35 of B2F competition. Third, the number 62 of MSG Motorsport.
I think about 6 o'clock in the morning we're going to see the sun again, and it is going to be a beautiful day. Blue sky and only sun.
And indeed, it doesn't take long before the car lights aren't needed anymore. Problems for the 148 under braking right in front of the QSR BMW.
you brake and it go on, but it was okay. I had enough place to stop it. It's no problem, and now they are paid. It will be okay. They are everything new on the car.
Regulations allow teams to have up to 5 drivers. Having less drivers gives you more time behind the wheel, but it can also have its disadvantages.
One of the benefits that we've got is the fact that we've got 5 drivers. And I think some of the teams that are only running with 3 drivers, we're now getting into the stage where they are getting fatigued. And you see some questionable judgment decisions made.
SPS Automotive Performance having a great event.
It was close, it was hard, it was fair, but everybody loved to watch this, I think. And for me, it was fun in the car to fight such hard, but stay always fair, and it was great.
After the earlier mishaps, the Scuderia Praha Ferrari number 11 is back up to second, only to have more issues.
I mean, the car was already not, let's say, in the state how I left it, and so I just tried to maintain a pace, and it was actually okay. I mean, we had a margin, so it was not a problem. I thought, to be honest, it was a broken roll bar or something, but it seems to be a bit worse. It's a broken front shock absorber, so some work. So now it will be tight, for the podium.
Still leading, the 911 Porsche of Prekert Herbeth Motorsport.
To this moment, it's a good day. We're leading the race by 14 laps, and now we have only 3 hours to go. It can happen a lot, but we think we can go to the end. We hope to go to the end, and hopefully we can win it.
GRT Grasso Racing Team has extreme bad luck when a tyre blows.
I was in the car. We were just looking to finish it off, not even pushing that hard anymore. And we had another tire failure, and this time it hit the fuel line, and it started a big fire in the car. Luckily, I could get out on time, but the car is finished. So maybe, we have too much camber, which is too much, in the position of the rear wheels. Maybe we create too much temperature in the wheel. I don't know.
Other teams have also had bad luck.
Yeah, we've had our fair share of problems over the 24 hours. It's not been easy, but there's got a really, really good team behind me at Ram Racing. Anything that's been thrown at them, they've fixed really quickly, and that's why we're still running.
Scuderia Praha has the Ferrari back in the pits again, this time with temperature issues.
Just in 6th gear, no downshift, and the temperature starts to go up and up, so before broke everything, I stopped the car.
The Hankook 24 Hours of Circuit Paul Ricard is close to its end. Enjoyable not just for the competitors, but also for the spectators.
We have the chance that we have a very nice weather. The race was very nice because we have a lot of changes of position and everything. And we are at home, like BRM is a French brand. So we are very happy to be here, and it's a very nice race.
Just a couple of minutes left and teams are getting ready to celebrate the completion of this endurance classic. But not all of the final positions are quite certain yet.
Well, I'm looking at the screen right now. We are on P3. I hope we can hold it, but it will be really difficult.
At 2:30 in the afternoon, the checkered flag is out to crown Team Prekert Herbeth Motorsport as victor of the Hankook 24 Hours of Paul Ricard. Overjoyed Daniel Ollerman, we look at the final standings of the race. Let's have a quick look through the results from the 9 classes. A6 Pro winner, the number 911 Porsche of Prekert Herbeth Motorsport. A6 AM winner and a very creditable 3rd overall, number 10 of Hofer Racing. SP2 was won by the 64 of Porsche Lorient Racing. The 991 class taken by HRT with their number 73 car. The number 236 of Alfab Racing wins SP3. Lemak Ogilvy Dual Racing has won the TCR class in the number 1 car. Beating their teammates, the 205 Team Ultram Peugeot wins the A3 class. And in the A2 class, the win goes to the number 112 of Presenza.eu Racing Team Clio. For the next instalment of the 24-hour series powered by Hankook, we're staying on the Mediterranean coast, moving south down from France to the second city of Spain, Barcelona, the capital of the Catalan region, and the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya.
For me, it's a special favorite because I've raced there 24-hour race myself, so it has always special feeling. But also Barcelona is always a wonderful race. People like to come to Barcelona. Wonderful circuit, always good races.
We are celebrating the 25th anniversary. That is a lot of drivers have been here driving, racing, and is very well known for I would say a technical circuit. It's a very technical circuit. You have a slow speed corners, high speed corners, a long straight. I think it's a very good combination.
It's the second time I've done the Barcelona 24-hour. You know, it's a great event. The circuit's obviously fantastic. It's one of the best facilities in the world, and it's just great to be back here again.
High noon, and after the 2 obligatory warm-up laps, the grid is released. The front section of the field rushing towards the first corner with speed, while the tail of the field is still on their slow last formation lap.
Start was okay. I was a little bit compromised on the final forming up section. A couple of slow cars coming around this chicane, and everyone in front was already at full racing speed. So by the time we came onto the main straight, we had already lost maybe 100 yards, but it's a long way. 100 yards in 24 hours is not a big problem.
This event boasts 9 classes, and already most of the field are fighting for positions at the very moment that the race has got underway.
We had a good start. I could catch 2 cars up to the first corner, so I was directly behind Blekemoy. And after half an hour I could pass him, so we were in the lead.
The number 911 soon finds itself trying to pick a smooth racing line through the back of the field in the slower classes. 2 Lamborghinis are fighting for position. The GDL Team Asia number 77 tries to make up a position from Sportec and the 58 car, but then loses it immediately. The Red Camel HTM Racing Seika sports car had issues during free practice, and now they seem to have returned. It stopped on the track during the race.
It started to get wrong on Friday in the first meters of the car. Suddenly we had some issues with the software, and we did not expect that because we had tested the car over and over time in Holland. So we flied in and a guy from Prague, a software engineer, and he landed this morning with a new computer with new software on it. And then we hoped that everything was clear when we started the race. But that wasn't true. And now we have some software problems that we now must solve during the race.
The MRS Racing GT Porsche is off track into the gravel. Whilst on the track, the car with surely the best tyres doesn't seem to have the best engine. In order to recover the Lotus Evora of Track Club and the MRS Porsche, a code 60 was required.
Luckily, you know, Creventic did a great job. 2 cars off the circuit. They managed to tow them in, get them done. Left me a lap and a half, 3 minutes, in which, because you have to wait 3 minutes to come in till after a code 60, so really worked in our favour.
The 3 minutes that was referred to there is if you come in during a code 60, you are only allowed to put in half of your normal fuel allowance. Now, that rule stays in place 3 minutes after the code 60 has ended. Most of you will be watching this in the cold winter months, but on the day of the race it was very hot indeed.
And we also had a bottle problem because it was not working perfectly, so we couldn't drink between, during the race. That was a real problem also because of the heat, because when together you have the heat and you cannot drink, then it's getting difficult.
Well, with this heat, it's very hard to cool down people and very hard to cool down the car. So we just had hot, and we went to take showers, cold showers, as much as possible. But it was hard for the cars. 205 had some issues, still having the issues because it overheated a bit.
We realized that the water temperature and the oil temperature went quite high, and the team told me, okay, stay outside. So I did this, and then suddenly I saw smoke behind me, but then it was already too late, and then I saw a big fireball behind me. Put the car to the gravel, went out, and did my best to escape myself.
The good news for the teams and the cars As we enter the evening, the temperatures will drop in the next few hours. But of course, you have to keep your concentration at the very highest level. Any mistake and off into the gravel could cost you a lot of time before you can get out and back into the race.
Some of the battles I had was with some of the slower GT3 cars and some of the Porsches. Some of them are driven by pro drivers, but it was fun. It was fun. Obviously, driving safe, but quick is the main thing.
Lim Kong Wee notices too late that the cars are slowing down because of the double yellow flags. His avoiding action takes him towards Maxim Aronov, who's just crashed his BMW.
Driver was okay. Luckily we have a really strong car. There is a really good safety device in the car, and driver until now he was checked and not a problem at all.
Drivers and marshals unharmed. As the sun bids farewell and we head into the night, the race carries on. Number 11, Scuderia Praha Ferrari, going well in second place. Will they eventually take the lead?
You never know, because it's still a 24-hour race and you can see others, they having problem all the time throughout the race. So, well, no one knows, but I'm really hoping that this time it will happen, that we will survive without any mistakes and damages.
And anyone familiar with endurance racing knows it's still all to play for, as anything can happen. As we look at a mini pit stop, let's take a look at the standings. Alfred Renard leading overall in Prekert Herbert's 911. They have a 2-lap lead over Yuri Pesherik, who is in second with the Ferrari number 11. Top of the A6 amateur class, Kenneth Heyer is third overall, with number 10 Mercedes. The 991 class for Porsches has MRS GT Racing leading. The 68 APO Sport Porsche is second. The 73 of HRT Performance is in third. The BMW 118 of MDM Motorsport leads Class A3. They've got 3 laps in hand over Team Altron's Peugeot number 208 in second. It's the 76 Synchro Motorsport Honda in third. Mercedes number 10 from Hofer Racing was leading A6 Amateur and in third overall, but now in the garage.
We had only 10 volts in the car stopped and we had to change it. That's why we now are on P3 only, otherwise we would have been a P1 in the amateur class.
Drama with a major crash on the main straight.
I just was trying to overtake 2 slow cars, one BMW and one Porsche, and I was in the middle on the start-finish line. And when I was in the middle, I don't remember if it was the Porsche or the BMW closed the line, and they touched me, I think, in 5th gear, and we went completely straight to the wall.
3 cars were eliminated on the spot. Scuderia Praha Ferrari, Duo Racing BMW number 235 and the 62 of MSG Motorsport. With the track cleared, clean and safe for racing, the battles are on again. There's no rest for the machinery. They are going to keep going until 12 noon tomorrow. Some of the humans, however, do sometimes shut their eyes. Heading towards the morning, the dawn and the sunrise. That can be emotional for some drivers.
That was a feeling. I can't explain it. It was just huge for me to experience the sunset or sunrise. Yeah, almost dropped a tear.
Obviously, you develop marks, visual marks during the nighttime when you're looking for certain braking marks, and when the sun comes up, you can go back to your daytime marks. Obviously, when the sun is very low, I did sunset as well as sunrise. When the sun is low, sometimes it's difficult to see in certain corners, but the sunrise here was no problem.
Sebastian Blekemolen is a professional sprint racing driver, but he keeps turning up in the 24-hour series.
I've raced in so many endurance races, also in this series, and always have a lot of fun. And I think that's really important.
In the 991 class, the number 78 Porsche of MRS GT Racing had a very comfortable lead until one of the engine belts came off.
We had the problem with the serpentine belt. We were, I think, 7 or 8 laps in the lead, and now it's come down to 2. Honestly, and for some teams that would be a send you to the back kind of thing, but in this case, the team did a fantastic job changing it in about 9 minutes.
Despite accident and incident, most cars are still in the race and circulating. Count amongst those the number 303 It looked to be out of the race at 12:30 last night, but it's back on the track now after 6.5 hours of hard work by its mechanics.
Yesterday my dad got touched by the Aston Martin, and a few hours later something on the suspension broke. The team worked all night, and now they have fixed it. We don't have any chance on the podium anymore, but we're just gonna check if the car is okay and see it like a test.
At this stage of the race, it's not always about leading your class. Some teams are quite happy just being second.
We are now second in our class, so I think it's a good result for us. So yeah, we need to keep concentrate and finish.
This moment we are in place 2 in our class with 1 lap after number 1. Yes, we are very happy with this result. We come to Barcelona with a hopeful on the podium in the AM class, and with second place we have this podium, and so we are happy.
Daniel Ollerman has to avoid a spin in front of his Porsche. A nasty moment, but it won't stop him and the team clinching the overall win for the 2016 Hankook 24 Hours of Barcelona. Team Prekert Herberth Motorsport have led for the largest part of the race, and their cars run pretty much trouble-free, and crucially, they haven't got involved in other people's accidents. On the podium with the overall victors, Barwell Motorsport with their Lamborghini Huracan in second. Third is Team Spirit of the Race with the number 53 Ferrari. And here are the class winners for the Hankook 24 Hours at the Circuit Barcelona de Catalunya. In A6 Pro, our overall winners, Prekert Herberth Motorsport, take the laurels. In the A6 Amateur class, Spirit of Race. The 991 class for Porsches, APO Sport. In SP2, Team Isobrakes. In SP3, JR Motorsport with the 103 car. Mehmet Ogilvy Dual Racing Seat wins the TCR class. It's the Peugeot number 208 of Team Ultran taking the A3 class honours. Team K Reiser win A2, and in Cup 1, Duo Racing are the victors.
Many people know initially the 24-hour race of Barcelona was a touring car series, so we go back to it, and we looking at the big grids we had there in the past, we are very confident that it will be huge. I think it's a perfect circuit for those touring cars.
And next, the final event where the 2016 series champions will be determined. The last race of the 2016 season in the Czech Republic.
It was the season ended, all those the expectations were we would have chilly weather, but if you have seen there, it was really wonderful weather. We had not so big grid, we had about 30 cars, but we had a sporting race, and after 12 hours the points were awarded and the champions are known.
The race format here is unusual. Originally, this race was planned for 12 hours and then during the season was extended to the full 24. So there'll be 2 finishing flags. An orange flag at midnight, which will effectively end the season, but then 12 hours later, at midday, a normal checkered flag will come out for the end of the 24-hour race itself. Unfortunately for Car Collection Motorsport, they were the first to know that they would see neither flag.
The engine broke and oil go out and the car beginning to fire, yes. And the marshals on the track make the fire out.
Fluid on the track, stripe flag out, however it can still catch you out. Prekert Herberth Motorsport in their number 911 Porsche had taken over the lead of the race, but a driving error proved costly and handed over top spot to the Czech team Scuderia Praha.
I don't know what happened, but the Porsche was quite slowly before me and took several laps to catch him. And after that I saw just in the mirrors that he maybe made some mistake or whatever. I don't know what happened to him.
Another local team, Valek Autosport, has not enjoyed the same look as Scuderia Praha as they're in the pits.
We broke on a steering pump, but it's a small problem. Maybe 20-minute change and go down in the track.
Great to see Keith Kasulke back for the first time in the 24-hour series powered by Hankook this year. He was here for last year's Hankook Epilogue of Brno, but things went horribly wrong for Keith after that race.
Left the race here last year, flew back to Australia and regrouped, packed my gear and went to a racetrack near Melbourne the very next day. And the day after was first practice for the Australian GT round there, and my GT3 car caught fire and I was trapped. Couldn't get out, hence the fairly severe damage. I passed out very quickly, which was good, but the scars are there for life now.
Throughout his recovery, the Mark Cars Australia driver has been saying that out of all the series he's been competing in, he looked forward to returning to the Creventic series the most. Darkness is setting in. Maxim Aronov in the 303 Seat gets blinded by the lights of a competitor. His car is severely damaged. Marek Fried in the 113 of Valek Motorsport has also incurred damage, but the cause of this is purely technical.
When I'm in car, I have a lot of vibrations in brakes. I say it for a box and they says go. So I go and on brakes in Schwanzova curve, car go up and everything is bad.
One of the bright red Ferraris is the number 444 of RPD Racing. They're a Slovakian team, but their car has been serviced by Czech team Scuderia Praha. And just like last year, they're leading their class.
I feel honestly really good with the car. We work a lot on the first day on the balance, and we have a car probably not with the best performance that we can have, but really with a good balance and really easy to drive. This is the main important for the endurance race.
As the time nears midnight, a special moment in the race is about to happen.
Yes, something special is going to happen. In about 10 minutes, the Champions race is over, but the race itself is not over. We still have 12 hours to go till we have the 24 hours down.
But the championship is about to finish. The orange flag is shown to indicate the end of the season at the 12-hour mark. The positions at this point of the race, regardless of on or off track, will determine your championship points. So leading the A6 class and also the overall standing is the number 11 of Scuderia Praha, their Ferrari, taking maximum championship points over the 963 Lamborghini of GRT Grasser Racing Team. Third, the 911 Porsche of Breketh Herbert Motorsport. The 991 Porsche class, it's the 62 of MSG Motorsport, ahead of their rivals from HRT and EST1 Racing in third. RKC TGM win the A3 class with their number 99 Honda. The KTM Crossbow of RTR Projects takes maximum championship points in the SP3 class. And in SP2, the French team Porsche Lorient Racing is the class winner. They've got a lap lead over last year's class winner in this event, the 444 of RPD Racing, and the 95 of VDS Racing Adventures is in third. So the race is not over, although the teams had the option to finish the race as soon as they collected their championship points at midnight. Night racing very different from during the day, and Thomas Padovani is enjoying it.
It's quite a large track, and the brakings in the night and so on. It's very nice, very enjoyable.
Daylight is slowly returning to the circuit and bringing better news for the number 11, who've extended their overall lead. For everyone, driving a 24-hour race is a real battle. But for Keith Kasulke, it was even harder as he made his return to the 24-hour series after his incident a year ago. He's enjoyed his return.
We had some very good laps, getting quicker, but of course a little bit of traffic, you always seem to get it on a good lap. The car is very good. Very happy with the car. And quietly, my eye is very good too. So it's, yeah, that was brilliant.
The last laps towards the checkered flag aren't trouble-free for everyone. In the last half of the race, the number 11 Ferrari of Scuderia Praha was unchallenged. With a staggering 38-lap lead, they crossed the finish line to claim victory in the Bruno epilogue. And now to the standings in the classes. In A6, the win goes to Scuderia Praha number 11, followed by the 10 of Hofer Racing, and in third, the 963 Lamborghini of GRT Grasser. SP2 goes to RPD Racing in the 444 Ferrari, third overall, remember, for those guys. In the 991 class, the top spot of the podium goes to MSG Motorsport with their 62 Porsche. In SP3, the winners are NKPP Racing, Their number 125 Seat did beat the CCS KTM Crossbow and the GR Motorsport BMW. And finally, it's a win in the A3 class for the English team RKC TGM, Bonk Motorsport in second, and third, Malik Autosport. And now to the championship standings at the end of the season. The GT champions, it's the Hoffer Racing number 10, and the drivers Chantel, Michael, Kenneth and Christian take the Drivers' Championship. In the touring cars, that honour goes to Team Altram Peugeot's 208, who also take home the overall Drivers' Championship for Guillaume Roman and Stefan Ventaya. Chantal Kroll prolongs her reign as Ladies' Champion. Rookie of the Year, Max Edelhoff. In the Touring Car Endurance Series, Ivo and Rick Breukers take the class and the overall win for drivers. Sarah Bovey is the Ladies' Champion. Rick Breukers is the Rookie Champion. A long list of winners for a long season of 24-hour series racing and Touring Car Endurance Series racing. In the second week of January 2017, the first races in the new 24-hour prototype endurance series powered by Hankook and the continuing 24-hour endurance series powered by Hankook will take place at the Dubai Autodrome in the United Arab Emirates. You can find more information on 24hseries.com. Dubai, Mugello, the Red Bull Ring, Paul Ricard, Imola, Portimao, and the Circuit of the Americas, Austin, USA.